If you're watching this video, you're probably interested in how I shot this cycling scene for a commercial I did for a Kickstarter project. This is actually part 2 of the BTS video, so if you missed the first one, do check it out via the link above or in the description below. Let's get right into it. When we first arrived on location, it was about 3 PM, which means the sun was not ideal for my hero shots. That is why I planned to start with shots that did not really require cinematic lighting. My first shot is something of an experiment. I have actually never done anything like this before. My idea was to rig up a camera to the bike's handle so I can get a top-down POV shot of the cycling computer. I wanted my shot to showcase nothing but the bike computer and moving road to represent that feeling of travelling blind. Overall, apart from the shot being slightly shaky, I think it turned out fine. Not bad for a first time. Moving on to the second shot, I needed another POV shot, and I wanted to rig up the camera to show what he would see when cycling. Unfortunately, due to the limited resources, the only way I could do this was to use a GoPro attached to his chest. I'm not sure if you noticed the drop in quality compared to the rest of the video, but it is what it is. By the time we were done with that, it was 4 PM and the sun was at a position that was better for filming. It was time for the hero shot. This is arguably my favorite shot of the entire video. I got this shot by sitting at the boot of my car while we drove alongside the talent. The positioning of the cyclist and the angle of the camera was determined by the sun, as I wanted a backlit shot so it looked dramatic, and I was trying to get the sun flares to appear and disappear as he was cycling. Glad to say, I managed to get what I wanted, but of course it took a few takes. After getting the wide shot, I needed a close-up of the cyclist's feet pedaling, as I wanted to do a match cut with the runner's feet. I took a look at my notes, which you would have heard me talk about in part 1 of this BTS video, and noted that the direction I filmed the other shot from was from right to left. Therefore, I had to make sure that this shot was from right to the left as well. When that was done, it was time for another shot that was important. The idea for this shot is for the cyclist to be out of focus and cycle towards the camera. When he is close enough, he will stop so we can transition from the real world to a 3D animation. We used the reflector here to bounce the backlight onto his face. It definitely made a difference. At this point, it was about 4:30 PM. The sun was set at 6 PM thereabouts, but one thing I didn't take into consideration is that it was set below the hills in our location before that. We were now rushing against time to get a shot before the sun was gone. Since I had a telephoto lens on, we just took a variety of static shots to make sure I have options as well during the edit. Now it was time for the tracking shots on the main road. I saved this towards the end of the shoot because I wanted to make sure that just in case there was a park ranger that caught us filming like that and kicked us out of the park, we would still have already gotten most of our shots. It was definitely challenging trying to do this with a small crew, but we did it in the end without compromising on safety. Also, at this time, we only had small pockets of light on the main road, so we didn't have much flexibility in post. Since we managed to get this done without getting into any trouble, we then went on to filming the low priority shots. So I have an orbiting drone shot of the runner, and I wanted one for the cyclist as well, and I made sure to film them both in the same direction so they can pair well together in the edit. It was a simple shot, so it was done very quickly. Last but not least, it was time for a drone shot. For obvious reasons, I left this for the last because drones attract attention and I didn't want that. I wanted to be able to fly my drone and get out of there if I have to. Due to the foliage in the area, the only shot I could get was this top-down drone shot, but just as well because I wanted that anyways. If you look at it raw, it looks quite boring. It was during the editing phase where I came across this post on Instagram, and that inspired the idea to add text on the road. I think it made the boring shot a little more interesting. That's pretty much everything that went on during the shoot. The time was a little tight on this one, having only 4 hours to get everything that we needed. Ideally, we had more time and a bigger crew to help speed things along. I had only one assistant on set, and I want to give a shout out to my friend Joe for helping me out with this. He was amazing and made filming this project so much easier. Also, just to give you the outcome, the Kickstarter project did well and was fully funded within 4 minutes of the launch. I would like to think that my video helped out with that. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it useful. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you did. That's pretty much it for today. It's a wrap!